In this last video for lesson 5.3, we're going to be doing the extra practice number 2 on page 136 in our student journal. All right, so number 2, we're going to be proving that two triangles are congruent. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with some of our givens. We are given that line segment JN is congruent to line segment MN. And we can see that in our picture here and here. We are also given, so that reason is given. We are also given that line segment NK is congruent to line segment NL. And we are trying to prove that triangle JNK, so this yellow triangle, is congruent to triangle MNL. So I'm just outlining these triangles to show which triangles we're trying to show are congruent, because there were several triangles in that picture. And sometimes it can get confusing if you don't figure out what two triangles you're trying to prove are congruent. So right now, I can see in my picture that I have a side and a side that are congruent in both of these triangles. I need to find something else that is congruent to try to use one of my congruence theorems to show that these triangles are congruent. And so I'm trying to look at my picture and notice if there are any other congruent sides or angles. Well, I don't know anything about these two sides, so that's not going to help me. Maybe I can find a pair of congruent angles. One thing that stands out to me is that these angles are vertical angles. See how we have intersecting lines and they're the angles opposite each other? Well, one thing we know about vertical angles is that vertical angles are always congruent. So I know these two angles are congruent. I'm going to put that in my picture. And if I put that in my picture, I need to make sure I put it in my proof. So angle, I'll name this one first. Angle JNK is congruent to, J matches with M, right? So when I go to name this other angle, I should start with M. Angle MNL are congruent. And we found this out because those two angles were vertical angles. Well, looking at my picture, I can see I've got a side, an included angle, and a side. Side, angle, side. That allows me to now say that my two triangles are congruent using the side angle side theorem. So I'm ready to state that the two triangles are congruent. Triangle JNK is congruent to triangle MNL by the side angle side congruence theorem.